raise your hand if your child has ever had a disagreement with another child. Okay. And raise your hand if it happens, if it's happened more than once, even with different children. Okay. So raise your hand if your children have ever had a disagreement with you as a parent, right? So disagreements happen. They're a normal part of development. They're a normal part of behavior, child development, relational development. You know, whether it's parent-child, peer-to-peer, even a teacher-child can happen sometimes. So just because your child has a disagreement with another child doesn't necessarily mean it's bullying. Okay, keep that in mind, that it may have just been a bad day for one of the children. Maybe it was over something very minor. We don't know. Sometimes we have to ask both sides to get the full story. So if your child comes home and says, someone was being mean to me today, or someone called me a name today, or someone left me out, or whatever the problem is, or if there's the girl drama, because again, they'll come home and tell you, oh, so-and-so did this today and this and that. So sometimes it's easy to just take our kid's side just because they're our child. You know, and we want to, like I said, we want the best for our children. I think it's in a parent's nature to just automatically say, yes, I'm on your side no matter what. But before you do that, just mentally take a step back and ponder on what your child is saying. And possibly think, okay, is there a different side of the story? Or maybe what role is my child playing in it too? There may be a different side of the story, or your child might be part of the problem, if you will. I really want to encourage the kids to talk to the adults. As parents, we're advocates for our kids no matter what, and I know that as a parent firsthand. But it's really important for them to have a voice too, and tell their side of the story. You know, when I used to do research years ago of domestic violence and in women who had been abused, and again, I know this is a little bit different, obviously, but the part I'm trying to extract from it is that when that happened, it was very important for that woman, or even men in that case, but particularly that woman in this research I was doing, to tell her side of the story, to get her information across. So with these kids, if they're going through something at school, whether it's a relational problem or a bullying type problem, it's really important for them to be heard and to be able to go to an adult and say, this is what happened, this is my side of the story. It actually will help them therapeutically to tell them instead of you telling it for them. Avoid asking too many questions too. Be more of an active listener when your children come home and tell you something that's going on, instead of asking too many questions. Because if you ask too many questions, your child might innately become defensive, if that makes sense. So use more statements than questions, and again, being an active listener and really hear what your child has to say. Because again, if he has too many questions, they might start shutting down. Be like, oh, I don't want to talk about that, you know, and you might lose them.